Have you ever felt like your emotions are ruling your life, making you lose control and causing you to make decisions you regret? Have you ever wondered how to stay calm in difficult situations and control your emotions? Imagine you are standing in front of an important meeting. Your heart is racing, sweat starts to roll down your forehead, and anxiety is rising. You feel like all eyes are on you, and just one small mistake can ruin everything. What would you do in this situation? Do you want to know the secret to staying calm and confident in such moments? Today, Morgan will share with you 5 secret lessons from Stoicism that will help you control your emotions effectively. These are not just empty theories, but methods that have been proven over centuries and applied by great leaders who have overcome the most severe challenges. You'll learn how to avoid getting caught up in the emotional whirlpool and live a happier, more successful life. Are you curious? Are you ready to explore these amazing lessons? Morgan will take you through each step, each secret in a detailed and practical way. Together, we'll learn how to turn emotions into motivation, how to use reason to control emotions, and much more. Before we dive in, I want you to do a little favor. Hit that like button, subscribe to join our awesome community, and leave a comment saying, "I'm over myself." This will be our mantra as we explore each point together, reinforcing our commitment to handling difficult situations with grace and strength. Leave a comment, because this helps YouTube know that more people need to hear this message. Start your journey of emotional control with Morgan and discover 5 secret lessons from Stoicism right now. These are amazing lessons that can change your life forever. Are you ready to change? Now that you're ready, let's begin this journey with the first and most important step. Imagine that you're standing on a hill, looking down at your life. You're no longer the one immersed in your emotions, but an observer, an objective spectator. This is an approach that helps you see every situation more clearly and calmly. When you learn to stand aside and observe, you will realize that emotions are just passing clouds, cannot shape or control your life. Let's explore how this way of thinking can change your life, help you become more steadfast and stronger in the face of any challenge. Number 1. Use the objective observer mindset. Why were famous presidents like George Washington or Thomas Jefferson able to stay mentally stable and make wise decisions in times of crisis? What was their secret? What did they learn from Stoic philosophy to stay calm and not get caught up in negative emotions? When you are no longer a direct participant in events, but become an observer, an objective spectator, this allows you to see every situation with a clear view and not be dominated by emotions. This is the core of objective thinking, a powerful technique in Stoic philosophy that helps you control your emotions. Stoic philosophers, such as Epictetus, taught that we are not affected by what happens to us, but by how we think about what happens to us. When you apply this way of thinking, you will see that emotions are just passing clouds that cannot shape or control your life. The story of Jesus in the Garden of Gethsemane in the Bible. Before being arrested and crucified, Jesus prayed and experienced moments of extreme suffering, yet he calmly accepted his fate with a peaceful mind and trust in the Father. This shows that, like Jesus, we too can learn to stand aside and observe our emotions from an objective perspective. When we adopt an objective mindset, we are no longer caught up in the spiral of negative emotions. Imagine you are in a stressful situation, perhaps an important meeting or a personal conflict. Instead of letting your emotions take over, take a step back and ask yourself, if I were an outsider observing this situation, what would I think? What would I do? This way, you can stay calm and make better decisions. An example from everyday life. You are driving and someone suddenly cuts you off. The natural reaction might be anger and frustration. But if you adopt the objective thinking style, you will stop and ask yourself, is the other driver's actions really important enough to make me lose my cool? Maybe they were in a hurry for a good reason. When you look at the situation from this perspective, you will see that there is no reason to let negative emotions affect your mood. Morgan believes that practicing objective thinking not only helps you control your emotions, but also helps you develop patience and tolerance. When you look at things from an outsider's perspective, you will see that everyone has their own struggles and may have reasons for their actions. Do you agree with Morgan that staying calm and in control of your emotions is an important skill? Leave a comment and share your stories of times when you have applied this thinking style in your life. Morgan would love to hear from you. Start your journey of emotional control with Morgan and discover the next lessons from Stoicism right now. These will be amazing parts that can change your life forever. Once you've mastered the objective mindset, you'll realize that calm and distance are powerful tools for controlling your emotions. But sometimes, in moments of stress, we need an immediate technique to help us maintain our composure. This is where the 3 seconds of silence rule comes in handy. Imagine you're in a heated argument and your emotions are running high and threatening to take over. Just stop, take a deep breath, and stay silent for 3 seconds. You'll find your mind becomes clearer, your emotions calm down, and you'll respond more intelligently and calmly. Now, join Morgan in exploring this magical rule in more depth and how it can change your response to stressful situations. Number 2. Apply the 3 seconds of silence rule. Statistics show that more than 70% of successful people in the entertainment industry apply a principle called 3 seconds of silence to control their emotions. Do you want to know how this technique can change the way you react in your daily life? As Morgan shared above, if you are in an important meeting or a heated argument with a loved one, emotions start to rise, and you feel like you are about to lose control. This is where the 3 seconds of silence rule comes into play. Stop, take a deep breath, and stay silent for 3 seconds. During this short period of time, you will find your mind becomes clearer, your emotions calm down, helping you respond more intelligently and calmly. Morgan believes that stillness and calmness are key factors in controlling emotions. Epictetus once said, "It is not what happens to you that matters, but how you react to it." The 3 seconds of silence rule is a great example of this philosophy. By pausing and giving yourself a moment of reflection, you can move from an impulsive, emotional reaction to a thoughtful and measured response. Now, you might ask yourself, Morgan, how can I apply this rule in my daily life? Start with small situations. When you feel stressed or angry, stop and count to 3 silently. Give your mind time to calm down. You will find that after 3 seconds of silence, you will be able to respond more rationally. Jesus, in his most stressful moments, often sought silence and prayer. When faced with severe challenges, he always remained calm and confident. The story of Jesus in the Garden of Gethsemane is a clear example. Before his arrest and crucifixion, he prayed and accepted his fate with a peaceful mind and trust in God the Father. This shows that, like Jesus, we can also learn to stand aside and observe our emotions from an objective perspective. An example from my own life. Morgan was once in a debate with a colleague about an important project. My emotions were running high, and I felt like I was about to say something I might regret later. I remembered the 3 seconds of silence rule and stopped myself. I took a deep breath and kept quiet for 3 seconds. As a result, I was able to control my emotions and come up with more logical and convincing arguments. The debate ended positively, and we found the best solution for the project. Morgan hopes that you will apply this rule and see the difference it makes. Have you ever tried using 3 seconds of silence? Have you noticed a change in the way you react to stressful situations? Continue your journey of emotional control with Morgan and discover the next lessons from Stoicism. These are amazing lessons that can change your life forever. By mastering the 3 seconds of silence rule, you will find that pausing and reflecting can really help you calm down and gain control over your emotions. However, there are times when simply pausing is not enough to change the way you feel and react. This is where the counter-thinking technique comes in handy. Imagine you are faced with a constant stream of negative and anxious thoughts, and your emotions are being controlled by them. By applying the counter-thinking technique, you can turn those negative thoughts into positive ones and gain a whole new perspective. Now, join Morgan in discovering how this powerful technique can help you transform your emotions and your mind. Number 3. Practice counter-thinking technique. Have you ever felt yourself getting caught up in a spiral of negative thoughts, worries, and fears? Morgan has. I remember staying up all night worrying about an important decision at work. Negative thoughts kept flooding my mind, making it impossible to focus and be productive. But then I discovered a technique that completely changed the way I deal with those negative emotions: the reflection technique. Imagine you're facing a difficult situation. Negative thoughts start to appear, such as, "I'm not good enough," "I'm going to fail," or "I can't do this." These thoughts are like dark clouds that cloud your mind, making you lose faith in yourself. But did you know that you can completely change the way you think and feel about the situation? The reflection technique is a powerful method to help you turn negative thoughts into positive ones. It is not only a technique from Stoic philosophy, but also a valuable lesson from the Bible. In his letter to the Philippians, St. Paul wrote, "Think about things that are true, things that are honorable, things that are just, things that are pure, things that are lovely, things that are of good report. If there is any virtue, if there is anything praiseworthy, think about these things." This verse reminds us of the power of positive thinking and how it can change our lives. Epictetus, a famous Stoic philosopher, once said, "It is not the things that happen to us that bother us, but our attitude toward them." When you are faced with a negative thought, stop and think about the opposite. For example, if you think, "I am not good enough," tell yourself, "I have accomplished a lot and can do this." If you worry, "I will fail," remind yourself, Failure is part of the learning and growth process. A touching story from my life. One time, my friend John faced a difficult project and felt a lot of pressure. Negative thoughts about his abilities began to appear, but John applied the reflection technique. Instead of focusing on what he couldn't do, John focused on what he had learned and the skills he had developed. As a result, John completed the project successfully and felt much more confident. As you practice this technique, you will see that your thinking gradually changes. Positive thoughts will replace negative thoughts, and you will feel stronger and more confident. This will not only help you control your emotions, but also help you see every situation from an optimistic and hopeful perspective. Morgan encourages you to try applying the reflection technique in your daily life. You will see a clear difference in how you feel and react to difficult situations. Have you ever used this technique? Have you noticed any changes in the way you think and feel? If you have mastered the reflection technique and know how to turn negative thoughts into positive ones, you will find that not only does your mind become clearer, but your emotions also change. Strong emotions, whether anxiety or fear, are no longer a burden but a potential source of energy. And if you can turn those emotions into a powerful driving force to push yourself forward, this is what we will explore next. Let's find out with Morgan how to turn emotions into motivation to achieve great goals and live a more fulfilling life. Number 4. Turn emotions into motivation. Many successful millionaires like Tony Robbins have shared that they use strong emotions not only to face challenges, but also to turn them into motivation to push them further. Have you ever wondered how to turn emotions like anxiety, fear, or even anger into positive energy to achieve your goals? If you are at a major crossroads in your life, emotions are running high, and you are unsure of the path ahead, these strong emotions can be overwhelming, but they can also become your strongest motivator. What will you do? Morgan has learned to use these emotions as a source of energy to propel himself forward. The Stoic philosopher Seneca once said, "No wind blows favorably to him who knows where he is going." When we know our goals clearly, we can turn strong emotions into motivation to achieve what we desire. Think of your emotions as a strong current. Without direction, the current can be harmful, but if properly guided, it can become a huge source of energy. Jesus, throughout his life and ministry, faced extremely strong emotions. However, he used love, compassion, and sacrifice as a driving force to complete his mission of saving humanity. The Bible says, "I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me." This verse reminds us that with faith and determination, we can turn any emotion into strength to overcome challenges. A typical example is the story of Tony Robbins. When he was young, Tony faced many difficulties and negative emotions. He grew up in a poor family and went through extremely harsh times. But instead of letting negative emotions discourage him, Tony learned to use them as a source of motivation. He decided that he would not let his circumstances define his life. He started reading, learning, and training himself every day. Tony used his powerful emotions to push himself forward, overcome all difficulties, and become one of the most famous speakers and coaches in the world. Do you see that emotions can be powerful motivators if we know how to use them? Think about a situation in your life where you feel pressured or anxious. Instead of letting those emotions hold you back, ask yourself, How can I use this emotion to push myself forward? In this way, you will see that every emotion can be a source of positive energy if used properly. Epictetus also said, "People are not disturbed by events, but by the way they perceive them." Look at your emotions as a tool, a resource to help you move forward. You can turn tears into strength, fears into determination, and moments of anxiety into motivation to achieve what you have always wanted. As you practice this technique, you will find that your mindset gradually changes. Positive thoughts will replace negative thoughts, and you will feel stronger and more confident. This will not only help you control your emotions, but also help you see every situation from an optimistic and hopeful perspective. Morgan hopes that you will apply this lesson and see the difference in your life. Have you ever used your emotions as a motivation? When you turn your emotions into motivation, you will find yourself stronger and ready to face great challenges. However, sometimes life brings us things that no matter how hard we try, we cannot change. Imagine that you are holding a heavy rock, the burden of the past and things that are beyond our control. This is when we need to practice the art of acceptance and release. Instead of continuing to carry that rock, learn to accept and let go, so that your soul can be freed and lighter. Now, let's explore with Morgan how we can practice this art to live a peaceful and happy life. Number 5. Practice the art of acceptance and release. Did you know that many disabled people like Nick Vujicic have not only overcome their physical limitations, but also lived inspiring and successful lives? Statistics show that more than 90% of disabled people achieve outstanding success thanks to their ability to accept their circumstances and release their psychological burdens. Have you ever wondered how they can do that? Epictetus once said, "Do not seek to make things happen as you wish, but rather desire things to happen as they are, and you will find peace." This means that we need to learn to accept reality, no matter how harsh it is, and learn to let go of what is beyond our control. When we accept reality and let go of unrealistic expectations, we will find peace and freedom in our souls. An inspiring story from the life of Nick Vujicic, a man born without arms or legs, but overcame all obstacles to become a global motivational speaker. Nick was born into an ordinary family, but with a huge difference. Since he was a child, he had to face curious eyes, harsh words, and a feeling of isolation. But that could not stop him from finding his own path. Nick's childhood was not easy. He went through days full of suffering and self-pity, even thinking about ending his life. But then, a great change happened when he decided not to let circumstances determine his fate. Nick learned to accept himself and what he could not change. He realized that, instead of focusing on the things he could not do, he should focus on the things he could do and do them with great passion. Nick began to learn and develop special skills that no one expected. He learned to type, swim, and even surf. These things not only helped him overcome his own limitations, but also proved that nothing is impossible if you have determination and faith. He found his purpose in life in inspiring others. Nick began to share his story, his hardships, and how he overcame them, to encourage those who are struggling and hopeless. One of the important messages that Nick shared was acceptance and letting go. He emphasized that to live a happy and meaningful life, We need to accept what we cannot change and let go of fears and pressures from society. Nick always encourages people to look at the positive things and potential in themselves. He said, "I don't need arms and legs to hold love and happiness. It all comes from the heart and soul." Nick Vujicic has learned to free himself from psychological burdens and live a life free of the values he believes in. He is not only a speaker, but also a living symbol of resilience, courage, and self-belief. Through his story, Nick has inspired millions of people around the world, helping them realize that all difficulties can be overcome if we know how to accept and let go. Morgan hopes that Nick's story will be a strong source of motivation for you. Have you ever tried to accept and let go of things in life that cannot be changed? Do you see any difference in your soul and life? Think of a situation in your life that you feel powerless to change. How can you accept and let go? Focus on what you can control and let go of what you can't control. You will find that life becomes much lighter and happier. The Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius also said, "The happiness of your life depends on the quality of your thoughts." Think positively and learn to accept reality. You will find happiness and peace of mind. Morgan hopes that you will apply this lesson and see the difference in your life. Have you ever faced a situation that you could not change? How did you learn to accept and let go? Leave a comment and share your story with Morgan and everyone. Morgan looks forward to reading your stories. Together, we have explored the secrets of Stoicism to control emotions and live a happier, more meaningful life. Each lesson gives us powerful tools to overcome challenges in life. Morgan would like to send her sincere thanks to all of you who have spent your precious time with her on this journey. Your support and feedback are a great source of motivation, helping Morgan continue to share meaningful lessons and stories. Each story, each sharing from you, is a brick to build a community full of love and encouragement. Remember, life is always full of challenges, but with the right mindset and the techniques we have learned, you can completely control your emotions and turn every difficulty into an opportunity. Always be confident, steadfast, and believe in yourself. Morgan hopes that the lessons from Stoicism will help you find true peace and happiness in life. If you find what Morgan shares useful, please help Morgan press the like button. Comment yes, so that YouTube can rate this video as useful. Or you can share with your friends and subscribe to the Stoic Kingdom channel so you don't miss the next videos. In addition, you can follow other videos shown at the end of this video. Thank you very much and see you in the next lessons.